Good evening, my dear friend, and welcome to your guided sleep story. My name is Dana, and it's truly a joy and an honor to be the voice accompanying you as you gently drift into rest tonight. As you listen to the story, soothing sounds and music will continue in the background, wrapping you in calmness even after the words fade. Feel free to set a sleep timer if you'd like the video to end quietly after a while. And if you haven't yet, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed and gave this story a gentle thumbs up. Now, make yourself as comfortable as you can. Loosen your shoulders. Feel your weight sink into the bed or wherever you rest. And when you're ready, gently close your eyes. Let's begin with your breath. Inhale softly and exhale slowly. Feel your chest rise and fall. There is no rush, nothing to fix, no task left to do. Just this moment and this breath. With every exhale, imagine releasing anything that no longer serves you. Tension, worry, noise. They all melt away. Notice the gentle warmth of your resting body, the softness beneath you, the stillness around you. Let your breath guide you deeper into this quiet place. Sometimes relaxation comes quickly. Sometimes it arrives slowly. But either way, there is no need to force it. You are exactly where you need to be. Perhaps you feel a quiet sense of gratitude for a small joy today, or simply for this moment of stillness. Let that feeling fill you like a warm light. And now, let everything around you fade into a gentle mist, like drifting onto a soft cloud light and weightless floating through the hush of night. You are safe. You are held. You are warm. It's time now for your sleep story. Tonight, we travel to the magical heart of Vietnam, to a place filled with lantern-lit streets, ancient whispers, and quiet souls moving through the stillness. Tonight, we wander through a winter night in Hanoi. Part 1. Miss Thảo and the Sticky Rice Cart in Hanoi. While the city still sleeps beneath the soft mist of a Hanoi winter night, a tiny light flickers on in the shadows of the old quarter. It's 3:45 a.m. Miss Thảo has been awake for quite some time. In a narrow alley tucked behind Huong back street tone that's existed since the French colonial day steam rises gently from a silver pot in her humble kitchen. Her hands, slender but steady, gently fluff the warm sticky rice, mixing it with crushed peanuts, fragrant fried shallots, and a pinch of sea salt from Dearyou. This is her quiet ritual, an unspoken rhythm, as natural to her as breathing. She's in her early 50s, but her eyes still carry the warmth of someone who has lived her whole life among familiar alleys where the morning begins not with alarm clocks, but with a soft echo of street vendors calling out from beneath Hanoi's mossy rooftops. She lives alone in the very house where she was born, behind a time-worn tiled roof that holds decades of memory. Salingzo of Vietnam's traditional sticky rice breakfast might seem simple, but within its warm folds lie stories of childhood, of mothers, of the countryside. To many, she's just a street vendor. But at this hour when the city is still deep in slumber, she becomes part of Hanoi's soul, a living brushstroke in the city's cultural tapestry. She rolls up her sleeves, covers the pot, and begins pushing her old wooden cart, its paint chipped, its wheels slightly uneven over cobbled stones. The rising steam merges with the glow of streetlights and early morning fog, like a delicate veil of memory whispering its story. She stops in front of a small temple, where incense is always quietly burning, a symbol of Vietnamese reverence for ancestors and the sacred balance of life. It's also tradition how Vietnamese people begin their day with a moment of quiet gratitude. Miss Thảo lays out green banana leaves, gently placing folded brown paper bags beside them. She doesn't need to speak. Just by the faint sound of a motorbike down the alley, she knows who's coming and what kind of sticky rice they like. Vietnamese people don't always say much, but they remember. They remember preferences, children's names, even when someone said, "I didn't sleep well last night, just a small portion today." That, too, is lovin' the most Vietnamese way. As the cool morning air brushes her cheeks, Miss Thảo sits quietly, eyes gazing far into the distance, but never with sadness. And every morning, without fail, she hums softly an old lullaby her mother used to sing during the oil lamp days. Only she can hear it clearly. But in that moment, while the world is still asleep, that melody drifts into the steam, the sticky rice, and the very heartbeat of the city. This hour belongs to her, quiet but whole, and in the still sacred sliver of time before dawn, she belongs to Hanoi, and Hanoi belongs to her through the fragrance of warm rice, the swirl of smoke, and the patience of a gentle heart. Part 2. Mr. Bin and the Silent Halls of the National Library. While the city begins to stir beneath a pale, bluish light of early morning, inside a grand building near Trang Thi Street, the silence is still whole. It's 4:30 a.m. Mr. Bin unlocks the old wooden gate of the National Library of Vietnam. He has been doing this for over 30 years. His steps echo gently through the marble hallway. The floor, cool and smooth, reflects the faint yellow glow from the antique lamps above. The library won't open to the public for another few hours, but this time it's his. Dressed in a neatly pressed uniform, his silver name badge polished just enough to glint in the dim light, Mr. Bin walks with the calm assurance of someone who knows every corner, every creak, every forgotten stair of this place. He walks past old glass cabinets filled with newspapers from the 1950s, past typewriters used before computers arrived. He pauses beside a wall lined with centuries-old books wrapped in red cloth and tied with silk ribbon, each one a memory, a voice from another time. In the quiet, he takes a deep breath. The scent of old paper, of time itself, fills his chest. To him, this is not just a building. It is a living soul. As he checks each door, each reading room, he hums a familiar Tunian, old folk song from his hometown in Buk Ninh, where Quan Har still floats across the rice fields in the early evening light. It's strange, he thinks, how silence in here doesn't feel empty. It feels full. Sometimes he stops by the children's literature room and gently adjusts a misplaced book about fairy tales. Other times, he lingers near the poetry section, running his fingers along a spine where the name Xuan Deer is fading but not forgotten. There is something sacred in these acts, quiet, unnoticed, but meaningful. He once dreamed of becoming a teacher. Life, however, had other plans. But here, surrounded by stories, he feels he still gets to play a part in shaping someone's journey just by guarding this treasure of knowledge. Every morning, he lights a small incense stick at the ancestor altar inside the staff hallway. It's not in the visitor's map, but everyone working here knows. He whispers a few words of gratitude for the books, for the peace, for the chance to witness another sunrise. Outside, the sounds of motorbikes begin to fill the air. The world is waking up. Soon, students will arrive, some sleepy, some eager. Writers looking for lost metaphors. Tourists who don't speak the language, but still bow politely at the entrance. And Mr. Bin will be there, standing at the gate, offering a quiet nod of welcome like he always has. In this simple daily act, he carries the grace of old Hanoi, not loud, but deeply rooted, respectful, patient, and always present. And as the library doors finally open to the world, he steps to the side, letting others enter, while he continues to guard the silence within. Part 3. Miss Huong and the Silent Blooms of Long Biên Market. It is 3:15 a.m., and while most of the city sleeps soundly under its misty blanket, there's one corner of Hanoi that stirs to life in silence, in steam, and in petals. We're at Long Biên Market, a place that has seen decades of dusk and dawn, of whispers and wheels, of people coming and going with armfuls of scent and color. In the far corner, near an old concrete post, stands a small wooden stall draped in tarpaulin. Beneath it, surrounded by buckets filled with water and flowers, is Miss Huang. She is in her early 40s, but the early hours in cold water make her seem timeless, like someone carved out of the morning mist. She's arranging bundles of lilies, white ones today. And just like every day, for the past 17 years, her hands move without thought, precise, gentle, unhurried. Each bloom she touches seems to respond to her fingers. She speaks to them sometimes in half whispers, not because she believes they'll talk back, but because flowers deserve kindness too. Huong inherited the stall from her mother. Her mother, who used to wear a brown scarf and chew betel leaves, believed that selling flowers was a dignified job, because no matter how poor someone is, they still need beauty. That's something Huong never forgot. While she works, a small speaker nearby plays an old Vietnamese song, faint, warbly, like a lullaby for the street. She hums along, a sound that blends perfectly into the rhythm of the market, the splashing of water, the shifting of carts, and the distant chime of a day passing by. A young man approaches her stall. He's buying roses, red ones. He looks nervous. Maybe he's planning a confession or an apology. Huang wraps the bouquet carefully, adds one extra rose, not for profit, but for luck. When he thanks her with a bow, she smiles and simply says, "Good luck." In that moment, Huang is more than a vendor. She is a witness to quiet hopes, to small kindnesses, to the stories no one tells in words. Behind her, a woman is lighting incense at the edge of the market, a small offering to the land spirits. Huang bows her head slightly. Tradition, even in this chaos, still breathes. At 5 a.m., the market is bustling. People come and go. But Huang, she remains steady in her little corner, calm in the center of the storm. She wipes her hands on her apron, takes a sip of strong tea from a dented thermos, and looks up at the sky turning from charcoal to pearl. The sun hasn't risen, but the flowers have. Part 4. Mr. Minh and the Shoes of Time. A quiet soul in a quiet alley. It's 2:47 a.m. and in a narrow alley of Hanoi's old quarter, lit by the soft flicker of a street lamp, sits a man with silver hair, round glasses, and calloused hands. His name is Mr. Minh. He is a cobbler, a shoemaker, a fixer of soles and heels, a guardian of stories that have walked thousands of miles. He works under a green tin roof at the end of the alley. His stall is no more than a wooden table, an old bench, a toolbox older than most of the shoes he repairs, and a yellow thermos filled with bitter tea. The city is mostly asleep. Even the alley cats curl into corners, breathing quietly. But Mr. Minh, he's awake, his hands gently pressing down the worn leather of a black Oxford shoe. He doesn't fix shoes for money anymore. He does it for the rhythm, for the quiet, and for the feeling that some things, if mended right, can last forever. Behind him is a bamboo radio, playing a faint melody from the 70s. He hums softly, voice gravelly like a warm piece of earth. It's a habit left over from the days when he worked with his father, also a shoemaker during the war years. Sometimes, when he holds a shoe, he wonders where it's been. Did it cross a graduation stage? Did it rush through rain to a first date? Did it walk away from heartbreak or toward a new beginning? Every soul has a soul. He believes that. When asked why he still works at this hour, Mr. Min often says, "The night doesn't interrupt me. It listens." There's something sacred in that. In this old man, surrounded by glue, thread, dust, and time, and the sense that not everything needs to be new to be meaningful. A young delivery rider once stopped by to get his sandals fixed. Min refused payment. Instead, he gave him tea and a piece of advice. Don't just rush. Walk. Even when life is fast, you don't have to be. That boy still comes back sometimes, not for shoes, but for stories. At 4 a.m., a faint breeze flows down the alley. Min reaches for his scarf, a thin, frayed piece of wool his wife knitted decades ago. She's long gone, but the scarf still smells like her. He smiles, not sadly, but softly, because some memories, like shoes, are meant to be carried, not forgotten. Mr. Min sets down his tools, sips his now cold tea, and leans back. The city has begun to stir. Somewhere far off, a rooster calls. A flower vendor wheels past. A motorbike coughs alive. But in this quiet alley, time holds still, and an old man with a warm soul waits for the next pair of shoes to find their way to him. And now, my friend, as the first light of dawn gently brushes over the rooftops of Hanoi, our 4 stories come quietly to a close. You've walked with Thảo and her warm basket of sticky rice, stood watch with Uncle Han beneath the silent halls of the library, breathed in the scent of fresh lilies with Hoa under the flickering market lights, and watched old Min mend memories, thread by thread. Each of them, in their quiet way, carries a rhythm that pulses through this ancient city. Not loud, not rushing, just steady, enduring, like the heartbeat of Hanoi itself. Now, as your own breath rises and falls, let the images soften. Let the stories drift like mist over West Lake. You are safe. You are warm. You are home in yourself. Sleep deeply, my friend. Let your dreams be calm and your heart still. Good night and good rest. And now, as your body sinks deeper into rest and the stories gently fade into silence, let these soft words guide you into a space of peace within yourself, a place where nothing needs to be done and everything is already enough. Breathe, feel, receive. I am safe. I am calm. My body is at ease. I breathe in peace and breathe out all that no longer serves me. I am surrounded by warmth and stillness. I trust the rhythm of life, and I trust the quiet of this night. I allow myself to rest, to release, to restore. I sleep deeply. I dream gently. I am held. I am whole. I am home.